àti àwọn ọ̀wọ́rọ̀ nínú ẹlẹ́ṣọ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Àkí àtọwọ́jà yẹyẹ ní ọ tójú àtọwọ́jà àti àwọn ọ̀wọ́rọ̀ nínú Òṣogbo tójú ìyá Ọ̀ṣun nínú Ọ̀ṣun Òsì nínú ikọ̀.
My name is Osuntoki Mojisola. I am a priestess of the African goddess Osun. In 1971, I was initiated in the United States at the Oyotunji African Village, which is located near the town of Sheldon in Beaufort County, South Carolina. Osun is a religion originating among the Yoruba of southwestern Nigeria. It is the religion of water worship. It is the worship of the procreative powers of the freshwater river Osun. Here in America, many priests have wondered, as I have, are our practices consistent with the Osun worship in Nigeria? Are our perceptions of Osun consistent with the worshippers in Nigeria? Why is Osogbo Osun's sacred town? In what other towns is she worshipped? And who are the chief priests in charge there? How does the worship vary from town to town? And how is it similar? What are some of the songs and praises used to quote Osun? And what does that textual content illustrate to you about Osun, her work, her history, and her powers? Join me as I return to the sources of Osun worship and seek answers to these questions. This is Osogbo in Osun State, where the main shrine of worship in the world to Osun is located. We will then travel to Ikoro Ekiti in Ondo State. We will then go to Ibajo in Osun State, and then to Ibadan in Oyo State. Osun is known by many to be the beautiful river goddess of fertility in Nigeria. She is said to love children very much and gives blessings of children to parents. Osun worship in Osogbo began when two hunters, Laroye and Temehim, discovered the huge Osun River in the present town of Osogbo. When this was reported back to their towns, the residents moved to Osogbo, and Laroye was made the first king, which is called an Ataoja in Osogbo. When the land began flooding, the townspeople consulted their religious oracle called Ifa. The Ifa oracle gave the information Idin Ileke, which said two things. One was for the settlers to move further uphill, and the other was to sacrifice to the river if they wanted Osun to continue to bless, protect, and bring prosperity to the town. They moved, and the town grew with new births, businesses, visitors, and recently, in 1991, Osun was given statehood, and Osogbo became the capital. The sacrifice became an annual celebration of thanks to Osun Olomoyoyo. Osun Olomoyoyo means Osun, mother who is blessed with many children. Osun's many children are the many births she has made possible and the many blessings she has given. In Osogbo, Osun is worshipped every 5 days and is given an annual festival celebration in August. During the festival, there are 3 separate trips to the river. The Priest Society of Osogbo Shrine say there are 44 different roles, faces, or personalities of Osun. They are all given their offerings and sacrifices in the duration of the festival. The Oshogbo priests are responsible for giving 2 festivals a year. The second one is in February. This festival is to Obaluaye, the god of smallpox and disease. They do this one to keep disease and disharmony, the anger of Obaluaye, away. The annual festival in August, which draws millions of people from around the world, commemorates the renewed annual agreement between Osun and the townspeople of Oshogbo, which told the townspeople what sacrifices they should do for peace and prosperity. The Osun Festival is a traditional occasion people use to thank their founders and descendants, the hunters and warriors who helped clear, develop, and protect the land Osun gave to the sons and daughters of Oshogbo. The festival is a ritual celebration of their offerings and respect to the river which has allowed the town to prosper. Osun continues to be worshipped because the people see the gifts that Osun has brought them. They see the cultural riches of blessings of children, husbands, and friends, visitors, and business. The Osun Festival program has many public and private parts to it. The first public event is the Iwo Popo, or clearing of the main roads in the town. This signifies that the security of the town has been checked. The chief Oganla is historically responsible for this day, which arose out of the strategic planning to protect the Ataoja and town.
My ancestors were warriors. That's why they were given that title Oganla. Ataoja has confidence in Oganla because he paved the way. He performed the security traditional duties, you see, by holding consultation with the spirits on 6 strategic places. It's because of the duty and his performance on the war front. That's why Oganla became Oganla of Osun.
The Ataoja, or king, and royal family, the female and male chief priests of Osun, chiefs and worshippers parade down the main road which leads to the sacred river to signify that all is safe and secure in the town. This occasion marks that the festival preparations are underway. The 16-lamp ceremony, called the Olojumerin Dilogun, is the next event that people await. On this evening, at 3 separate times, the Ataoja and his wives will dance around the lamp 3 times each. The Arugba, or Shun, the young virgin calabash carrier, who has been confined to the palace grounds for spiritual purity, also comes and dances for this event. This occasion marks the beginning of the Osun Festival and is attended by a few thousand people. This all-night ceremony in the palace courtyard is to salute the light of destiny that was brought to the town. The ceremony came about because there was a spirit in the forest called Osayin, who danced with a lamp of 16 lights. A hunter from Oyo, named Olu Temehe, took the lamp from Osayin and brought it to the town. At the first festival, they lit the lamp to keep evil out of the town. The Oluwi family is in charge of the annual lighting, and the priests of the Ifa Society maintain the burning of the lights throughout the night. Millions of people go on this procession carrying their empty containers so they can bring them back filled with the holy medicinal water from the sacred river. Osun is sought after for her curative powers with water, knowledge of herbs, and material blessings. Offerings of music, prayers, and sacrifices are presented to Osun to deter infant mortality, diseases, and premature death. In the worship of Osun, the king, the female and male heads of Osun, who are called Iya Osun and Oworo Osun, and the virgin calabash carrier are considered sacred. The king, or Ataoja, is considered the sacred physical being and voice of the gods. The present Ataoja, King Oyewale Matami III, is the 16th descendant of King Laroye, the first king of Osogbo. The Iya Osun, Chief Asande Oyawoye in Osogbo, is the chief priestess of Osun worship throughout the world. She is divinely chosen through the Ifa oracle, and it is believed that Osun communicates with her. Her qualifications must be that she is a woman who is responsible and able to keep secrets, an Osun worshiper, and no longer engaging in sexual relationships. She is the spiritual head in charge of the day-to-day worship of Osun and of the annual festival. Every day, you can find her sitting at the side of the Osun shrine, ready to greet, divine with kola nut, and give blessings to those who come seeking Osun's assistance. The Arugba Osun, Princess Abimbola Oyewale, is the virgin calabash carrier who people come to see from all over the world. It is said that the Arugba communicates with Osun and is possessed by the goddess while carrying the sacred items of Osun. The Arugba Osun has served for 10 years in her position, the longest of any present-time Arugba. She speaks Yoruba and English and is considered the first Arugba to be educated, European style. The previous Arugba lost her position when through a divination it was discovered that she was pregnant. Osogbo went through a reflective bad time which depressed the previous chief priestess and caused much confusion and disharmony in the town. Two and a half hours away is Ondo State. In the town Ikoro Ekiti, their Osun festival is celebrated in early July through mid-August. Chief Priestess Osun Bumi Apalowo said that she has held her title since childhood. In this Osun society, the priest does not use the divination system of 16 cowries. In Ikoro Ekiti, Osun history says that when the goddess Osun Usi descended in the town Usi, she did not bring the 16 cowries, and so it is considered inappropriate to use them. The worshippers are in charge of the Osun River, and anyone wanting to go to the river must get permission from the chief priestess. In contrast, anyone can go to the river in Osogbo. The Osun Society members say when the river is used without permission, Osun becomes angry and causes it to dry up. Another differentiating fact in this society is that the Arugba does not have to be a virgin and holds her title for life. The present Arugba, Ashabi Osuntomi, is married and has children. The Osun worshipped here eat snail, whereas it is taboo in Osogbo. Here they worship 44 aspects or faces of Osun. The worshippers and caretakers of Osun are family linked and do not eat fish at all. In respect to each other's worship, the Ikoro Ekiti Society and the Oshopo Society participate in each other's annual Osun festival.
Ebi ọtí ní kó rúbọ rẹ ni ọkà bàbà ló ń jẹun ní kó fọkà sílẹ̀ kó máa jẹ yangan nítorí ọmọ bíbí wọn ní kó máa lọ sóde Òṣogbo ó dóde Òṣogbo rọmọ bí lóde Òṣogbo ibẹ̀ ló sọ dílé ṣe ló ṣàgbọdé bẹ́ẹ̀ òde ìgboro náà bí.
Kábíyèsí. That is the history of how Osun comes to Òṣogbo.
Ìdí ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ ló bí Ọ̀ṣun.
Kábíyèsí èèpà ifá o ìdí ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ ọ̀kẹ́ mẹ́sàn-án.
In the town Igbajo, the head priest is a male named Aworo Osun Adebayo Esan, who is the head of Osun worship. Here they worship Osun Ereja traditionally for guidance and protection. Ereja means someone who goes to the market and people give gifts to freely and happily. The worship here has declined due to increased participation in Christianity. The decline is very evident when you see the overgrowth of bush and trees that obscure the entrance to the river. Access is even further complicated by the fact that in order to get to the shrine, permission is needed to cross private property. In Igbajo, they have no Arugba at this time, and no regular attention was being given to the care of Osun. In Ibadan, the chief priest is named Osunkemi Osuntoki. The particular role or aspect of Osun that is worshipped here is Osun Osuntoki. Osuntoki means Osun amounts to praise. The chief priestess said that the Osun here eats snail. There is no particular river that is worshipped here. Osun, mother of many children, mother of whiteness and purity, mother who protects her children, mother who protects her town, Osun, whose many fish are her many messengers, Osun, whose home of water is the source of life, Osun, whose treasures of wealth are in the water, Osun, whose breath of life is in the pregnant female, Osun, whose knowledge of medicine is among the herbs. I have come to drink your kindness and love. I have come to sip your wisdom and cunningness. I have come to bathe in your healing waters. In Oyotunji, South Carolina, Priestess Majile Oshumbumi Olafemi was the first chief priestess in the African village. Here, the road of Osun was Yeyekare, while in Nigeria, Yeyekare is merely a praise name. There was no particular river that was used. A dissimilarity in the choice of animals which are sacrificed to Osun here, as compared to in Nigeria, is that only female birds are given to Osun. In Nigeria, she is also given roosters. Priestess Oshumbumi organized the weekly meetings and annual festivals. She says the difficulty in developing the Osun society were the interventions of the husbands of the women. The Arugba, Osungwaide Olafemi, is her daughter from the Adefumi royal family. When asked about the beginning of Osun worship in the U.S., Osun Bumi refers to an elder, Osun priest, known affectionately as Mama Keke.
The first priestess or the first worshiper I ever met of Osun that was Black American was Mama Keke. And even at the time I met her, she wasn't initiated, but like I say, that concept was still that Osun was more or less like a sex goddess. But in my experience, the most intense worship of this goddess in this hemisphere in America was at Osuntoki. And we worshiped her as the mother goddess, the mother of the waters and fertility. She was like almost exclusively known like as a sex goddess. And it wasn't until we kind of pulled away from the system of the Cubans and started dealing more with African concepts and theology that we realized that Osun was a mother goddess. But the first priestess or the first worshiper I ever met of Osun that was Black American was Mama Keke.
You were the Osun over here in the United States, the only Osun that I know of. They do a lot of work in Osogbo for women who want children. Do you feel that in the United States there's less requests for women to have children, or it may just seem like that?
It's less requests. Yeah, it's like everybody doesn't want to have a child. A lot of Osun's daughters, have to be coaxed into pregnancy. They want to be career women and models, if they feel like they're beautiful. And I mean, they don't have to be Osun's daughters to want, to have that concept. It's because of, it's like the whole country is clouded with the European concept of having no children or little children. And that came out of their ancestry of hunger in Europe, because Europe 1,000 years ago was a hard place to live, because you got 9 months of winter and you got about maybe 3 months to grow food for the whole year. So the diet there consisted of basically meat. Meat was the largest part of the diet, and it was scarce. So and sometimes people didn't eat a lot. The concepts that, we've been clouded with that. So every now and then you run across women, who are barren and they want to have one just to show their womanhood. But, and even how children are treated and the value that's put on them is different here than in Africa.
I'd like to ask you about the issue of abortion. Do you believe that Osun and or the ancestors would accept abortions?
I don't think they care. I don't think that the Orishas I don't think they care. I think that the head and Ori is the most powerful Orisha here. I think your own personal choice, that's what you're here for, and why you are so isolated. And we are isolated here on this material plane. And I don't think that they care whether or not you do it or not. I think that's something that you and your own soul have to decide. That's what head is for, is to make those choices. And however you make them, of course, you will pay. But I don't think that that's neither here nor there. Because as we know, at one point, Osun, as well as all other Orishas, accepted human sacrifice. They accepted people, grown, children, all kinds, for human sacrifice. So I don't really think that that's an issue with the Orisha. That may be an issue, and I say maybe an issue with some of our ancestors. But I don't really think it's an issue with the Orisha, one way or the other, because they're removed. We decide. We have so much choice. I don't think people know the type of choices they have. I hear people come back from Africa and they say that, yes, I got to receive Ori. I said, you have Ori. You just don't know how to use Ori. Most people don't realize they have
and
choice.
Ori is?
Your own cosmic energy that's centered in your head. You have it, and this is why I advise people to study occult sciences so that they can learn how to use their heads. Because we only are using a small portion of our heads. Maybe what they're given in Africa, Ori, because what I found with Orisha, every time you get an Orisha, or every time you have an Ebar done, it opens up a channel of your mind. A channel that had been inactivated, a channel that had been closed down and not in use. But every time an bar is done and it's performed properly and it affects you, a channel of your mind is going to be opened up. And you're going to see and understand a certain aspect of life. You're going to learn to use certain faculties that you have like you never did before. So that it's important to learn how to use your head. So I assume that when you receive this Ori, some of us need it, some of us don't. Some of us are aware of the choices that ORISA, or the great God in heaven, has given us. That's what we're here to make those choices. And it's just, it doesn't mean anything, really, one way or the other. It's like this personal data gathered within your soul. You're gathering data by a trial and error process, by the process of your own choices. If you're lucky enough to run into an African religion or our occult religion in which you can have the equivalent of Ebar to do, so you can open up these channels of your mind and get them functioning so you can use all your cosmic powers to move the material earth around you, then you're lucky. You're going to go far. But if you haven't done that, then you have to get things like Ori and other ORISA. This is why some people have to have it and some don't. It's because some people just don't realize who they are. They never come in contact with their own powers.
We have visited and learned about various Osun societies in Nigeria. We have seen some of the characteristics of Osun and her worship and her powers. This journey has taken us to many waters that she resides in, and she has introduced us to many of her worshippers, their places of worship, their varying times of festival worship, and even differences in the Yoruba language as we have journeyed from one state to another. Knowledge that was acquired from the different Osun societies and their priests has broadened and given deeper insight and understanding to who Osun is in Nigeria and in the Americas. Osun is called the Great Mother, and we see that she likes to give children as blessings. We even see in one town, the Arugba may marry and have a family while holding her title. There are many different roads to her worship, and sometimes they may cross in the commonalities of her desires and dislikes. This is because social customs and local geography will shape the spiritual composition of the worshippers of Osun. The goddess Osun continues to be a strong servant of her people. As long as there is fresh water flowing, there will be Osun. Oreye yo! Oreye yo! Oreye yo! Osun iya mi!